In this video, I'm testing and ranking all three ice barrels, the 300, the 400, and the 500, and I'm answering the age-old question, which ice barrel is right for you? I'm going to be ranking these ice barrels in three different categories. One is going to be the setup, the time, and the amount of ice that it takes to get it down to temperature. The comfort, how comfortable it is to sit in this and do the plunge. The last one is going to be aesthetics. How does it look? Does it look good? And that's, I guess, more of a preference thing, but that is what we are going to be rating these three different ice barrels on. These are our three contestants. This is the ice barrel 300. This one is a little bit smaller. It's insulated. This is the step-in model. This one is the ice barrel 400. This is the OG with the step stool. This one is barely, well, I guess no insulation really. And mine has been modified to accept a chiller. The other two models, the 300 and the 500, both come ready with the ports to accept a chiller, but this one was modified. Bought this one used. And then we have the ice barrel 500, the Mac Daddy of ice barrels. This one has the steps built into it. This one is good for people that are taller and that want a place to sit down in their ice barrel. So I'm going to do a 2-minute plunge in each one of these ice barrels today. I'm going to start with the 300, do the 400, and then the 500. Download the ice barrel app for guided coaching and tracking. I didn't know that they had an app, so I'm gonna go ahead and download the app while this thing is filling up, and we'll do like one of their guided meditations. Why not? We'll see how that goes. Now you notice it has this little ridge in here. It's kind of like a little bit of a seat. You can definitely just step right into this one and crouch down. As you can see, like, I am pretty crunched. The top of my shoulders are not underneath the rim of the barrel. While that is filling, they also sent me Stabilize, engineered to clean and treat water. I'm not gonna put this in just because I'm gonna dump these after each one. I got the ice barrel thermometer. We have a little net. We have cleaning soap. I've used dish soap in the past to clean it. But this comes with a nice little brush, a little rubber scrub brush. I am going to clean the ice barrel 400 before I jump in it. These other two are brand new, so I'm not gonna clean them. The 400, I'll give it a little scrub. It's been about a week since I've used it, so make sure to use these today before we jump in it. Just crossing 25 minutes of fill time. Let's see what we got. Perfect. This water is already really cold. It's like 34 degrees outside, 46 degrees. So this is chilly. No need for ice. We're gonna get in this one and then drain it and fill up the other one. Okay. Doing Don Fletcher's Building Grit.
This ice bath will be 2 minutes.
Okay, slowly and deliberately.
Keep those breaths up to your neck or whatever feels right for you today. Breathe in. Slowly out. I am resilient. That wasn't easy, and you persevered. Building grit, one ice bath at a time. I'm proud of you. Keep pushing towards your goals.
Whoa!
Grit with you today.
It's definitely harder to do a cold plunge when it's freezing cold out. So it's very intense when you're in there, but afterwards, it's like such a sense of calm, which is super nice. On to the next one. I'm gonna drain the 300, load up the 400, and then get right back in there. Yeah, so I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't spray out while it's filling. I think this should be fine. This ice barrel lid is a little bit lighter than this one, so it doesn't quite, just trap the hose down there as well. So we'll be back in 25 minutes and see where we're at. We're gonna do another 5 minutes. I like it right around that little plug. Time for the plunge in the 400.
Today's focus is all about calming your system down. When you're ready, get in. Slowly and deliberately. Keep those breaths going and lower yourself down up to your neck or wherever feels right for you today, and slowly begin to get out, staying in control. and steady. How incredible was that? Take this calm with you and know that you can use these mantras at any time.
The nice thing about the 400 is the plunge aspect of it, where you can kind of just like prep yourself on top of the barrel and then dive in. Also, the edges on the inside lip are a little sharp. I have scraped my back standing up out of it a little too quickly before. As far as like everyday use, it is kind of a pain to like climb up on top of it, and then when you're done, you kind of gotta hoist yourself out. Got clothes back on, warmed up a little bit, got some lunch. Now it's time to set up the 500. Let's go ahead and step on in and see how it is. Oh, so this is nice. Shoulder height, kind of perfect, to be honest. This is pretty comfortable just to sit in, not gonna lie. Between the 300 and the 400, I think it was easier for me to stay calm and really focus on my breathing in the 400, just because I felt like kind of cramped and tight in the 300. If you're a smaller person, I'm sure the 300 is plenty big enough, but if you are a larger fella like myself, then you probably want to go with either the 400 or the 500. This lid should be heavy enough to hold the hose in there. Just reached 25 minutes. Let's see where this one's at. Looks good. I'm gonna give it another 5. For the last plunge, I'm doing Don Fletcher's Letting Go mantra, another 2-minute ice bath.
When you're ready, get in. Slowly and deliberately. Keep those breaths going and lower yourself down. Up to your neck or wherever you're ready.
It's kind of like a mixture between, you get to step in, but since there's that second lower part of it in front of the seat, it kind of like has the plunge aspect to it. Hard to really kind of like dunk your head. Again, kind of just like splash my face in the water. The 400, you can really kind of like cannonball in and get all the way under it and then settle into the water. This one was much more comfortable to just like sit in. This 500 ice barrel has the most insulation of any ice barrel on the market. So this one is gonna hold the cold a lot longer. This was a cool little side-by-side test. I'm gonna go get warm and then come back out and kind of do my final review and comparison about what I think about each of these. I rated all of these ice barrels on setup, comfort, and aesthetics. Starting with the 300, this is the smallest of the ice barrels. It took the least amount of time to set up, and the ease of getting into it and moving it around was the best of all three. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. It took 25 minutes to fill this thing up. When we unpacked it from the box, it was super easy. I just, could carry it myself, brought it right around back. As far as comfort, now I'm 6 foot tall and I weigh 220. This thing is a little bit small for me. So if you are above, I would say 5'10", I would just jump to the 400 or the 500. If you're smaller, I think the 300 is perfect. So for me, on a comfort, I gave it a 6 out of 10, but from aesthetics, I gave this thing a 9 out of 10. I think that this ice barrel looks the best of the three. I like, its small form. I like the way the lid sits. I like the circular aspect to it. Total for the Ice Barrel 300, it got 23 points. Moving on to the 400, the classic Ice Barrel plunge. Now I've had this one for a little over a year. Love this ice barrel. This one does take forever to fill up. So this one took a whole 30 minutes, and I still probably could have filled it for another 5. It is also 3 pieces, so that kind of is a pain to shuffle around. Sometimes, the barrel moves around a little bit on top of the little stand that it's on. From a setup perspective, I gave the Ice Barrel 400 a 5 out of 10. For comfort, I gave this one a 7 out of 10. I love the experience of doing the plunge, like getting on top of it, cannonballing into it, dunking all the way down. Like that is That's really fun to me. And from someone that is tall, you can just crouch down lower or stand up taller if you want to get more in the water or more out of the water. With these two other ones, you're kind of limited by the height of the water because you're sitting on your butt. From an aesthetics perspective, I like the way this one looks. Looks like a barrel. Like I said, pretty classic. So I gave aesthetics an 8 out of 10. I don't love that the ladder, can you kind of move around and do whatever, but overall, I gave the ice barrel 420 points total. And moving on to the last ice barrel, the ice barrel 500. It took not as much time to fill up as the 400. So this one took about like 27, 28 minutes to fill up. It's also one piece, which makes it super easy to move around, but this one is really heavy. It took me and my wife to carry it around back. From setup, I gave this one 7 out of 10. For comfort though, this is definitely the most comfortable ice bath experience. I gave this one a 9 out of 10. Being able to walk up the steps, it's like you're entering the barrel, which is super cool. It's not like this separate little thing where then you have to stage on top of the barrel and then jump in. It was a nice easy transition from outside of the water to inside of the water. Very, very comfortable experience. Really nice to sit in, very nice to relax in. From aesthetics, I gave this one a 6 out of 10. I personally think this is the ugliest of the three. I don't love the look of it. It's just kind of bulky and big. If they had like a 300 that was like taller and deeper, had the seat, and maybe had like built-in steps into the side that weren't like so sticking out, like these ones, they're very large. The nice thing about this ladder is that it's kind of small right by the side. So they had something where it was like almost like notched into the side of the barrel, so it still had that like kind of cone form factor like the 300. I think that'd be super cool. So for the 500, the total points that it got was 22. So the 300 came out on top points wise, but again, if you are over 5'10", I just think it's not going to be big enough. So that was my review and ranking of all 3 ice barrel products. I hope this was helpful in helping you decide which one is right for you. If you go ahead and pick up an ice barrel, use my code Monroe Miller for a discount. I'll leave a link in the description where you can learn more about ice barrel and everything awesome that they're doing over there. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to watch another one from me, YouTube will recommend it right here, and I'll see you in the next one.